Hello, this is just a quick note that this video is actually a just a continuation of the overview that got cut off because of an editing mistake in the episode 2 of week 1 of the 16-minute map season 5. So this isn't actually map content, it's just me talking about my in-depth thoughts of the actual maps from episode 2. The overview was cut out on accident. I made a mistake with the clip and didn't catch it before uploading the video. So that was my bad, but if you were interested in seeing the overview for my criticisms on the maps and what I thought could have been improved, here it is. I chose not to re-upload the whole video, just this 10-minute segment that got cut. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, and here we are for the overview. This is here because people have, at least a few people have requested this. You don't have to watch this, obviously. I'm not going to actually reveal any scoring or anything. Just a more in-depth kind of what I was thinking, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I think you can improve on, Before I actually get into that, you'll see I have two things here. We have a green wool and a Season 5 contestant badge. The green wool is if the first time that you've appeared in the Coliseum, at least that I could find, you got a green wool, so Balanzik. This was the first time that I could find in 16-minute map history that he has appeared here. If you have a green wool, if you're Super T, Blondic, or, I apologize, I have forgotten your name, Bacon Lord 005, I don't even have to look. Alright, if you got this green wool by mistake, just tell me, I will go find your actual head, maybe you changed your skin or something. But all contestants will receive this nice badge. As you can see, we have the ladder from previous ladder season. The yellow wool is that you actually participated in the tournament. Blue wool or cyan wool is because you are a live contestant, etc. So I wanted to add something, and the banner means you are weekly winner. I wanted to add something of my own. So here's the Season 5 contestant badge that all of them have, including Red Army over here. There he is. Right there. Alright, now we can get into the overview. So, our first map today was Gang Kuro, or the Red Army, and he gave us a map based on the words computer and grass. So, this map, I'm just going to look at my notes here, it went really fast. So it was bam, 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 done. There was no time for the player to breathe. And no real explanation for what was going on. He used both words. He used computer kind of in a... Yeah, well, he used computer. He had a system that was telling you what to do. So that was the computer. And the grass, at the very end, you're told you didn't destroy the last tree and grass. Good job. End of simulation. But let's talk about that ending there. So at the end, there's no actual choice for the player. Like, in the previous chambers, I couldn't progress if I didn't do what the system told me, but at least there was something for me to do. Like, I had to kill the pig. I had to break the flower. Now, those aren't very glamorous tasks, certainly, and they weren't very fun, I guess, and they were very short. But that's it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that end scene, there was nothing for the player to do. You got teleported there, and a few seconds later, you were told, oh, you didn't do it. Good job. I mean, there's a bit of text that says that the player is saying no. But other than that, I mean, it just ends the map. Now, as for the shortness of the map, 60-minute maps can be a bit rushed. I can understand that. You start building something, you think it's going to be really easy, and it takes way longer than you thought. You lose track of time, and all of a sudden you're left with like 5 minutes to build the entire map, right? But, so I'm not saying that it's bad that it was short. I am saying that maybe you want to focus on the immersion a bit more. It felt kind of jerky, I guess. I started the map, and then there was just a system that spouted text at me, and I did some stuff, and every 3 seconds I was getting teleported to a new room, and then, like, after 3 rooms, it was done. And that was it. There was no story behind the system. There was no actual end slate. So it told me it was the end, but I didn't get teleported to an end room. I didn't have any other kind of way to tell that it was the end of the map. It was basically, you're in a room, there's a tree here, you didn't do anything in this room yet, you're just put here, but it's the end of the map. That kind of thing. So in the future, so just kind of summarize this all up, I would focus, Mr. Red Army, on making your story a bit, I guess, more understandable, because it flowed really nicely. Like, you kept the system telling you what to do, and at the end the player revolts, and the system's like, oh, good job, you did what we wanted you to do, this is the end of the simulation. But explain to us why we're doing these chambers, or tell us, even at the end, just like teleporting them to a like makeshift laboratory, I guess, for the end room would give an actual conclusion to the map. And also let the player breathe. Like, just jerking them from room to room kind of kills any immersion that the player might have. You want them to get engrossed in the story. So give them a choice to do, like actually offer them the chance to break the tree or not break the tree. And then kind of, I guess, your tasks were a little odd, and I'm not going to hold that against you, but I don't know, just telling the player, like, kill the pig one, it's fine. I mean, that's the very first task. But then having the next one be, break this bush, and then as soon as you break it, it teleports you to the next thing. I'd be more like, put them in a little forest and say, go find this bush. And then they have to go find it, and they break it. And I think that'd be a little bit more enjoyable. I think giving the player actually something to do that takes a little bit of time would be better than giving them just a series of tasks and then the map is over. Like I said, this is just my opinion, and this isn't actually what you're scoring. So if I said a bunch of negatives, it doesn't mean you got a really low score. It's just things that I think could be improved on. Yep. And then we had, following this up, a map by Balanzik, and it really was more of a mini film. I mean, it wasn't an adventure map. It was a story map, if that makes any sense. There is a difference. Adventure maps controlled by the player, and I kind of feel story map would be just the players being brought along on this story. Now, it's a little odd. I am a fan of letting the player do things. I think if there had been a few, I don't know, objectives added in for the player to do, that would have been good. But looking at how much scenery was built into this mini-film, I mean, I flew around and it didn't look very big at the very end. But building those buildings and putting the player in the right spot and making sure they feel kind of engrossed in this story was good. Again, kind of the pacing thing. The story did go rather quickly. I was trying to figure out... let's do that. There we go. My bad. I did spend a bit of time trying to figure out what the story was telling me, and I think I got the gist of it as the map was going on. But it did go rather fast. And that's fine, because the story you were telling me was kind of... you don't really know what's going on, and that's kind of the point, until the very end where you're given a knife, and it's obvious that you're standing in front of a grave, which you only saw for a second earlier. And you kind of make assumptions like, oh, I was at the park with this person, and they were calling their mom, or my mom, their mom as well, so it's a sibling, they must be dead because I saw a news story, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed kind of that story aspect. And it was serious, and that's fine. Maps can be serious. I did kind of give that disclaimer at the very beginning, so I'm not going to... Well, I guess I've gone into detail, but I did like that. The only thing I'd say to improve on is, again, those objectives. Get the player a little more involved. But otherwise, it was fantastic. Yeah, I guess that's the overview. I did ramble a bit. I apologize. I will work on making this shorter if necessary. Still messing with the format. If there's anything you'd like to see changed, added, removed, just tell me in the comments. And if there's any anything else you want to say, you can say it in the comments. I do read them all. I reply to them if possible. And yeah, thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next episode of 60 Minute Maps, Week 1, Season 5.